Ghost Hunting in New England,
your favorite spooky podcast. Hi guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome to Ghost Hunting in New England with your host Amelia.
and Beth.
And can I just say, Beth, I am so excited because this is our first time recording here since college came out. And I got here in record time.
Oh, you mean when the students weren't all in your way in traffic? And
Correct, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
College is finally over.
I'm like, did I miss a movie that released?
No. I made it here in 50 minutes. Usually it takes me an hour 35, so I'm feeling pretty
Excellent.
good.
I want to say I left at 4, I got here at 5:40, so rainy night coming up through the city.
Rainy, it's very rainy.
Yeah, some nights are just like that, but I'm glad that all the college kids are finally out of your way.
Me too, even though we love the college kids.
Oh, and especially all of their ghost stories.
Yes.
Because we have lots of colleges in Boston, in case you didn't know.
Yes. Okay, so this week we're going over something kind of cool we did. We went to a haunted mansion turned into apartments in Beverly, Massachusetts. And we had a lot of fun.
We did. We went over to a home in Beverly, and it is rented by Sarah and Mike, and it's a first-floor apartment. Out of what? There are 8 units in the whole building?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and so they have the first floor, and then they have space in the basement and space in the attic, and so we checked out a whole bunch of it over a few hours that we were there.
We did, and it was great, and my friend James set it up for us, so thank you, James, and thank you so much, Sarah and Mike, for hosting us. Not only did we have a great time looking for ghosts, but we had some really great food. They were so kind. They made us some salsa and some guacamole, and it was amazing. And we wish everyone, if you're listening and you want us to come and do a ghost hunt at your place, we're okay if you make us food. Well, we're there.
Especially if it's donuts.
Yes. If you know how to make homemade donuts, then go for it. Some of the interesting stuff about this home. So it's one of the oldest mansions in Beverly, which is a pretty old part of Massachusetts. And they were telling us while we were there that when it was originally built, there were hiding grounds for people escaping from the Underground Railroad. So there's a tremendous amount of history. Their apartment, which is actually pretty spacious, it's a very big unit. Their kitchen was 1/3 the size of the kitchen of the original house. So it's just a huge sprawling manor, I guess you could even call it. And it was beautiful and fun and spooky, and we had a really nice time.
The house was very much like a cabin in the woods that you might go to if you were a hunting type, and it had lots of dark wood grain to it. There were wood floors. There was a big fireplace right there that we got a fire going in. It was very, very cozy.
Yeah, it was great. It was an all-rock fireplace, and it's a beautiful spot. It's up on a hill. They're putting a new development in right around it, but some of the history, again, so, you have the Underground Railroad, you have this being one of the oldest mansions in the United States with a lot of servants in and out of there, a lot of slaves escaping the South, going through there, heading up to Canada. And then later, it became a dormitory for Endicott College. Then there was some incidents with Endicott that I found online, excessive partying in this home. So the owner stopped the lease to Endicott. There was an incredible amount of damage done. And actually, I forgot a piece. Before that, there was also a major fire. So a lot of the original home had been destroyed and rebuilt, but there's still a lot of remaining pieces from that original home. Which, it's interesting, it's not often that you, at least not in this country, have the opportunity to go into a house this old. And when you think about how much history goes on over years and years and years, centuries, it's pretty cool. It's interesting.
Yes, it was definitely an interesting property. We drove around up to Beverly, and we went in, and I got there first, and I'm like driving around like these are all new construction homes, and there's nothing here that looks like an apartment building, and I think I'm in the wrong place. And I called Amelia, and she's like, "Hang on, I'm just a couple of minutes up the street." And then she drives up, and she's driving around, and it was, you had to go like down, like turn off the paved road onto the unmarked path and go down past the broken down bus and take a left and then go up the hill and behind the shrubs. And so it was definitely right from the get-go when we got there, it was a little creepy trying to find the place and trying to actually like navigate in.
That's true. And then when we got there, I would say I thought it was a little, I don't think I had made up my mind when I walked to the front door whether or not I really thought it was haunted. But Beth, you felt stuff right away.
I did. So we walked in the front door. Sarah was very nice, and she greeted us right there at the door. We weren't sure which door to go in. And we came through the little foyer area and actually into the apartment. And so we turned right inside the door and went into the family room, the den, the whatever people are calling it these days. The living room. And as soon as I went in there, I had that pressure on my chest, and I just kind of, as I stood there, I just felt for a little while, and there was absolutely something there in the room with me. It didn't have any sort of malevolent feeling to it. It was just there. So Amelia was talking with Sarah and Mike, and they were, moving around, and I don't really recall what they were talking about because I was just so busy kind of like standing in that one place and just feeling what was going on. So then as we kind of kept going, Amelia and Sarah and Mike had all kind of rounded up, and they were talking. And as I stood there, there was a distinct feeling of someone coming over and like brushing my left arm very gently with their fingers, as though they were saying like, "Hi," just trying to get my attention, but not try and frighten me about it. And so I certainly felt it. And I even pulled out my camera and I took a picture of myself, hoping that I would get whoever it was who was touching me on the picture as well. I didn't. And then I took another picture in the direction that I kind of hoped it had gone, and still didn't get anything in the picture. But it definitely set my expectations pretty high for the property.
Yeah, and that's unusual for you, Beth, because I'd never heard you say before that you've felt something touch you.
So no, I don't usually get touched by things in houses, but it has happened. Okay. It's not a completely unknown phenomena to me.
Right. What was really cool to me and very interesting, and part of the reason why obviously we were invited there, was because of what this couple had been experiencing in the home. And some of that is they had heard loud white noise late at night. They felt spirits, especially when going to the restroom, to the point where they actually don't, they go with each other when, late at night walking around the apartment, they're kind of always together.
It's young love.
It is, and it's adorable, and they're a very, very sweet couple, and we had such a lovely time with them. But one of the things that Sarah began telling me about was a previous set of ghost hunters in the property prior to them moving in. And they said they were able, I think they went with a spirit medium, and they were able to gather some names, one of whom was Agatha, who went in. And what was really interesting to me, and I wish I knew the group that went in there, and if you're listening to this and you're the group who went in there, please contact us immediately, because one thing they said they found is that they captured things on thermal imaging. Someone did a thermal imaging recording, and they said they were actually able to, while someone was standing there talking, presumably trying to get an EVP, they, all of a sudden surrounding them, they got blue imaging lighting up around them in the size of bodies. One that was interesting to me that Sarah talked about is, she said one of them was extremely tall, the extremely tall man. Now, depending on how you view things or whatever, typically when demonic spirits will show up on thermal imaging or through shadows or anything like that, typically they present themselves at over 6'6". So that is very tall. Whenever we get kind of feedback on those from a lot of people. They say it's usually between 6.5 feet to 7.5 feet tall. So that was interesting that they did have a very, very tall man, they call it, in addition to some children and another person. So to me, that was interesting. I know a lot of groups who use thermal imaging, and I know very few who have ever really gotten anything of any substance off of it. I believe that she had said they also got an EVP down there, and so that was really cool and interesting. Yeah, so we kind of walked around the house. We began by going upstairs to the attic, which felt to me a little cooler. That's where I started getting the vibes, especially there was like a window, there was a red chair up there. But we did some recording, we didn't get anything. We took some photos, didn't get anything on the photos. From there, we went down, we went into the garage, and we got nothing there.
No, there was nothing out in the garage. While we were up in the attic, though, one of the things that I started seeing is as I was taking pictures, it was like there were orbs on my camera as I was trying to take the picture. But then when I actually saw the picture, they weren't there. So it was like there were things moving around that my camera could see but couldn't catch in the photo.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it felt a lot of times we were in this home, is, we kind of hear things, or, I had the same thing that happened to Beth and seeing like orbs and stuff that happened to me down when we went into the basement. And again, my camera was unable to capture any of the stuff I had seen, or different like clicks and things like that. We have so much recording we've been going through, both video and audio, and there are certain points where you're like, everyone's like, oh, what's that? And there's nothing there. Like on what we've recorded, it doesn't pick any of that up. So I would say, we went upstairs, we came back down, we went to the garage, we walked around the downstairs interior. We took a quick break for drinks and chips, which was fantastic. And that's when we headed down into the basement. Now, Beth, do you want to describe a little what the basement was like?
So you go down these almost like spiral basement stairs. They go around. So by the time you get to the bottom, you're really kind of disoriented about which way is the front of the house and which way is the back of the house. And I found that no matter how long we were down there, I couldn't get a sense of which was the front and which was the back. So we came down to the bottom of the steps, and I had brought my temperature reader. I had brought my
thermometer, as it's called by scientists.
I had brought my thermometer, and as we came down the stairs, we had been, as Amelia had her little chips and wine break, we had been up in front of the fireplace. And so I knew that my thermometer reading was not going to be accurate for a little while. But Amelia did say as we were going down the stairs, she's like, oh, I noticed a definite temperature drop. So I had it out and ready. And so it was 70 degrees when we got downstairs. And so as you come off the bottom of the stairs, you're almost in a like basement lobby type area. And to the right, there's a laundry room. And then in front of you, there are two small utility rooms, for lack of a better word. One of them had a toilet in it with ducks on the toilet seat, which was kind of weird.
And we have photos of that maybe we'll post. I don't know. The toilet's kind of gross. The ducks are pretty funny. We'll zoom in. It's okay. We'll zoom in.
It'll just be a duck picture.
Yeah,
you won't even know what it is if you didn't listen to the podcast. You go down, like, there's this long hallway that has the heating apparatus on one side of it, and then apparently the old toilet storage room on the other side. And then
this place is like Toilet City. There's the duck one. There's the room with like 7 toilets in it. And then upstairs in their apartment, they have 2 bathrooms, one of which I believe has 2 toilets in it, right?
It had 2 showers in it.
2 showers, that was right. They have 3 showers in their apartment and 2 bathrooms, which I'm jealous of. I'm very jealous of that.
So yeah, as you get into the basement, it was definitely a little bit cooler, but I wasn't sure actually if it was a matter of objective temperature change or just we had been sitting in front of the fire upstairs and we were all warm and cozy, and now we were coming down into this kind of damp basement. So we went off to the right into the laundry room, and we started over there. And so when you're in the laundry room, for some reason there's a pool table. And it had pool balls on it. And so Amelia's friend James took it upon himself to pick up the pool stick and start batting the pool balls around, which did give us an opportunity to take some pictures of some different things on the pool table. And one of the things that we got when we took, it was actually on the video camera, there are these weird, like bright